What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about the Fit Model division?
Oh, that anybody just can walk off the street and become a fit model. Like there's no you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the same when bikini came around. You know what I mean? Oh my God, they're not really athletes. They're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, every division we have, you're an athlete.
Sandy Williamson, welcome to Raw with the PAK.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Of course, I wanted to connect with you and just kind of bring you in to talk about the new upcoming Fit Model division and what it's all about.
It's going to be exciting, especially with the first show coming up in Japan in
4
a week.
weeks.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks
really.
now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks, and we have over 40 women signed up already.
Exciting.
So I think, there, and then obviously going on to the New York Pro, and then on to the Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It's going to be really exciting. Yep, to see what, where the division actually ends up going, you know what I mean? Because I tell the athletes all the time, the athletes that compete in those first couple shows, these are the ones that are really going to shape where the division is going. Yes, you're going to set the standard.
Well, that's my ultimate goal with this division for sure, is like I want to help set the standard, and I'm so excited to show my physique at the New York Pro in 12 weeks.
Because you won yours at the Universe, right?
No.
Oh, North American.
I actually went to NPC Classic.
Yes.
Yeah, so that, and then I got my pro card at the Olympia Amateur.
Olympia Amateur, yes.
Definitely a different journey. It's funny, I had people reaching out to me recently. They're like, hey, Texas Pro just announced like Fit Model Pro, like you should do a full circle moment. And I was like, I would love to, but like we have a structured like game plan set for this year.
Well, and you do, because first of all, I mean, obviously, and like most of the athletes, you are young, okay? And you have to, I'm a big one, you have to have the balance.
Of course.
You have to be 21 or 22 or going to be 23, you know what I mean? But you have to enjoy being that age because it's never coming back again. And when you get to be 40, you can't go back and do 23, you can't.
Yeah.
So you've got to find the balance.
Yeah.
And we have athletes that do it all the time.
I had a perfect, game plan after the Olympia Amateur. I had a nice break and an off season to enjoy the holidays. And then as soon as the new year started, we started going back into prep mode, and I'm still, able to have a cheat meal, and it's a controlled cheat meal, like a filet mignon with a side of like, potatoes or something. But no, it's been a blessing, and it's such a nice structured routine for me, especially going to compete in 12 weeks. And then I get another kind of long break. We'll probably reverse a little bit, put on a little bit of size, some improvement, whatever the judges give me back, and then go compete at the Olympia. So I have a perfectly like set up schedule to compete.
Which is amazing for somebody that's 22.
For sure. No, I mean, being 22, I'm one of the few youngest IFBB Fit Model Pros out there in the world. And it's an honor and a blessing, but it's also like a responsibility I have to show other young women, what it's like being in the sport and being this like young woman just running around, lifting, following a whole like bodybuilder lifestyle, which is funny because I don't even call myself like a bodybuilder. Like I'm a fit model,
But the thing is, and I if you've ever seen Jim Mannion last year, a couple of years ago, they did a little video with him talking about just the sport in general.
Yeah.
And he said, everybody that gets on that stage is a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And you all are, because you are all working to put on a little bit of muscle, just some, to a lesser degree than others. But that's the one thing nice with the NPC, especially because you're so young. So if you find that, because again, everybody's, chemistry, their structure's a little bit different. But if some girls can put muscle on a lot, easier, then you can move up. There's all those divisions that you don't have to keep yourself locked into just fit model. You can move on to bikini and on to whatever.
I think that's definitely in the future for me, like years down the line, because eventually I will probably outgrow the fit model division for sure.
But that's what it's there for. It's an entry level to get young women, or women just in general, interested and realize, just because you're a bodybuilder and you're lifting weights doesn't mean that you're going to look like our body, like a true bodybuilder, like you think of the men and stuff and the women. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the beautiful blessing about the new division too. And like, that's something I'm like promoting is like, you can stay fit and feminine at the same time. And like, that's the beautiful part about being a fit model in the off season too, is like, you're still in shape. Like you still look good. You still look the part. And like, it's just, it's a great division, like you said, like for beginners, starters to like, especially like learn how to do a prep. And if they want to be successful already in the industry, like, and they don't have enough, muscle mass on them, Fit Model is a great starting point for women.
But it also teaches you structure.
Oh, for
and
sure.
discipline and focus. Because, obviously I said earlier, I retired from nursing after 44 years. And in a country that has 54% obesity, not overweight, obesity in our adult population, it amazes me all the time the number of young women.
Exactly.
And again, even the master's is young to young to me, but the amount of young women that are healthy and are role models to everyone around them, to their children, to their other family members that grace our stage every year.
No, 100%. And like before I started all this, like I was actually under eating. Like I didn't know like the proper like portions and like how much you should have in a day. Like I actually was under eating, and I was overtraining, and like I was definitely doing the quite opposite. But it's such a like blessing, like learning the bodybuilder lifestyle, because now I can never go back. I am always gonna have my 5 to 6 meals a day, cardio in the morning, weight training like with a pre-workout meal before. Like I can never go back. Like I'll never look at food and stuff again the same.
And I've said that because obviously, like I said to you, from being in the nursing field and starting, I went right from high school to nursing school, and again, talking obviously many years ago, but a lot of it still has, the stigma still hasn't changed. It was always, because again, when I was, your age, it was Twiggy, and the models were 6 foot and they weighed 110 pounds. And I was never, because I come from being 250 pounds. So I was never going to be that. So that was nothing that was ever going to be achievable for me. You know what I mean? And stuff. And in nursing school and medicine, they don't teach you proper nutrition. And it was always about, we can go all day and not eat, and we'll just eat dinner. And again, this sport is what taught me nutrition.
No, and I wish it was something too they taught like in schools, especially like high school and stuff, like especially with all like the athletic departments and everything. Like it's not something that's really touched on ever. Like when I was doing like competitive dance in the industry and stuff, during like my high school years, like again, it was never talked about.
Really?
Like,
I would have seen, now again, I don't have children, but I would have thought by this time,
No.
that would be something very relative to young girls in high school and college.
I mean, they always mention it like, hey, before the show, you should probably like carb up or something. Like,
but they don't tell you to eat 5 or 6 meals a day.
Well, no, but they don't really like teach you how to properly fuel yourself, especially when you're doing all this output and you're not doing enough input. Like you don't learn the full like proper recovery and that type of stuff. So it was something that wasn't hugely like touched on during my like dance days, and even the modeling too, because modeling, like there's the stigma to stay really small and really lean.
Exactly.
So when I started putting on muscle last year, unfortunately it wound up in me getting dropped from my agency because they didn't like the muscle mass I had put on, which it was odd because I was still really, really tiny.
Like, you're still really,
I'm still really tiny, which is
but to me, you are seriously, your type of physique should be what we are showing young women.
Of course.
You don't have to be this big.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That you can have curves.
Yes.
And that's...
And it's still beautiful, it's still fit, it's still feminine, and it's still achievable.
And it's very healthy.
That, and it's marketable for the Fit Model division.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, that's what I just love about the division. Like overall, it's like healthy, attainable, it's marketable. Of course, stage lean is a different kind of lean. You're only lean for that small amount period of time just to show off your shape and conditioning for the judges. But then after that, you should have a properly like reverse phase if that's your, plan. But no, I mean, it's overall like, it's just a great division.
So now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Just for anybody. So when you're in your off season,
Of course.
Okay, what's your different weight wise than when you got on stage?
So I was about 10 to 15 pounds up from my stage weight. I had, after the Olympia Amateur, I put on some extreme muscle mass, and especially right now, like my muscle bellies are really full and I love the look, which is annoying because I'm cutting down again and depleting for stage. But I'll have much more appreciation for it when it's back again. But yeah, I was only like 10, 15 pounds up from stage weight. I was about 111, which is funny in the angel numbers for stage weight.
Oh my goodness.
And then now I was sitting at like 125 for off season. But again, we wanted to put on muscle.
But it's a different, it's a different 125.
Yeah,
than just a young girl going out and putting on the weight
course.
And her weight is 125.
No, this is muscle weight. This is water weight. It's properly fueling yourself to be able to put on size and grow in your off season, which is exactly what I wanted and needed and knew it was necessary if I wanted to, have a successful pro debut.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to, you know, make sure I had rounder glutes and, you know, fuller legs. And then I'm bringing back, you know, a little bit of the rounded, like capped upper body. Basically, we're going to bring Texas, but 2.0.
Gotcha.
Texas, but, you know, pro
Is that where
debut.
you did your
Yeah.
NPC?
Yeah. So I did a NPC Texas Classic.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's where I did my first show ever. Took home all 5 first place Fit Model awards you could get there. And then, yeah, did another 7-week prep. I was actually, there was talk about me doing the NPC North Americans 3 weeks after that one. But I wanted like a full, like other
You wanted, yep.
7 weeks to like show up with the best package I possibly can. Yeah.
But see, and that's the nice thing about just the number of shows, because there's so many, and that's what I tell, especially, well, any of the athletes, whether you're young or you know, an older athlete, that there's always something that's going to fit into your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Don't try to make yourself fit into the show, you know, because we do. We have national or pro qualifiers all year long. So whether you're a young girl in college or you're, you know, you have a full-time 9-to-5 job, there's you can fit that into your life without totally having to change your life
rearrange
around.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you are a serious, you know, high level bodybuilder, you're competing at the Arnold, I get it. That is your full day.
Yeah, that's your job.
But when someone like me who's still kind of treating this, I don't want to say as a hobby, but it's just a little side gig I do full time from, you know, WOLFpak and everything and being a company officer, it fits very well into my lifestyle. Like my day is very structured around this and my work. And it just like fits right in. It's so funny. I'll be on the Stairmaster in the morning, just like answering emails back, talking to suppliers.
Oh yeah,
and, like editing, like whatever I need to do.
And I'm doing cardio and I'm reposting IG stuff and stuff. So
Yeah, no. And then after work, after 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I'll come out here, you know, strength train for about an hour or two, and then head home, work again, fuel up, rest, recovery, do all the things. But no, it fits right in, like. And that's great about being able to like choose what division you want to do, because each division, you know, does require a different level of, you know, demand and sacrifice.
But I think most athletes will tell you though that it not only does, obviously it makes them more healthy, it makes them, but it also the structure and the focus then transfers to
everything.
Yes, to the rest of the any endeavors that you have in your life.
It's so funny. I was just telling the Danny Garcia, her company and her team, I was telling them all about it, like how it just like literally influences every like avenue of your life, like personal, relationships, business, all of it. Like it just makes you, especially when you're like having to choose discipline over motivation every single time, like it really changes your life. Like again, like I can never go back. I can never look at food the same. I only see food as like fuel, or it's just gonna like make me feel like absolute like crap, you know, like and then just overall, like learning the whole bodybuilding lifestyle, like it's truly like a gift, and it's like you have so much gratitude for it now, looking back, especially like where I came from and where I am now. And like it's so funny, like I influenced like my whole family, especially when I did like my first prep. Like everyone started like, you know, kind of eating like me, changing. I got like all my like sisters like in with like a coach and everything too. So
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No matter what happens on stage, and I say this to athletes all the time, if you know you're better from wherever you started, okay, first of all, you're a winner, because nobody can control what's on, you know, who's going to show up at a show. You know what I mean? But also too, everybody that you've influenced and been a mentor around you. Yeah. And especially, I'm a little, you know, obviously probably just toward the women, but because most of them end up being mothers and stuff down the road. So now in our 18 and under population in the US, the last number I looked at, 28% of 18 and under are obese. So
I didn't know that.
Oh,
that's crazy.
So the mothers, you're going to influence your children. They're going to see
that's my biggest like goal.
Healthy eating though, and always knowing that, especially now with social media, I'm not since but with technology, all the kids are focused on a lot of technology. They don't have the amount of extra physical activity that they used to. But now they see their mother or their father, whoever. Okay, you just exercise fits in, going to the gym fits in somewhere in the day.
Of course,
because it's that important.
No, I mean that's the biggest thing. It's funny because like my dad, like Michael, I grew up with him always being in the gym, always being like in our garage gym, hanging out with him. He had all like the old like animal muscle tech like posters on the wall, like pictures with bodybuilders like Jay Cutler and stuff. And here we are, like, you know, friends with them. We'll see them at the booth and like the Arnold Olympia. And it's so funny, like full circle moment for us. But like you know, I got a lot of my like discipline, lifestyle, and training
because of your dad.
Because of him. And he actually did, you know, 2 bodybuilding shows when he was about my age.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh my goodness, I did not know that.
I wish I had the pictures. We do have them somewhere, but I believe he did open, and he like did his prep basically like learning through all the magazines, you know,
So
anything that came
when I come,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously your dad's, because your dad can be, you know, be my son, but the same thing when I first started competing, it was just, you waited for a magazine to come out, whatever was in the magazine, that's what you did, you know, we didn't have the science, nor did we have like the supplement companies.
So different now.
Yes. It's a whole different,
whole different beast, but it's so funny. It's just like such a full circle moment, but no, you're right. Like that's where
you
a lot of my, especially in business too, like you learn a lot from your parents, and like ultimately like that's the biggest role model you have, and like it will influence a lot in your life, you know, when it comes to work, relationships, personal, and again, like that's the ultimate goal, is like show up better for your kids and give them a beautiful life, and show them, you know, the weight and responsibility that you can have to like change your life and live a healthy, happy life.
Yep. And again, like you said, or like I said before, it doesn't matter for them. Like really, it shouldn't matter like how you do it, because your children are so you're the best role model for them ever. They're going to live a healthier life and hopefully have a lot more discipline and focus in whatever their career becomes.
Yes. I mean, again, it just like influences everything. That's all I could say. What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about the Fit Model division?
Oh, that anybody just can walk off the street and become a fit model. Like there's no you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the same when bikini came around. You know what I mean? Oh my God, they're not really athletes. They're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, every division we have, you're an athlete.
Yep.
It's just, every division is just different as far as how you're going to train, the type of muscle that you want to put on, the type of density you want. That's all that changes.
Yeah. I mean, everyone who's doing it, no matter what division you are still doing a prep. You are still waking up, doing the cardio, checking the boxes, eating the correct like whole foods, and fueling yourself properly. Like you are still going through all the same things as everyone else. You're just doing it at a different level to show off a different physique.
Well, yeah,
a different
shape.
You
do. You can't have to do it at a different level because the physique,
or else you're in the wrong division.
Exactly. Because the physique you want to show off, it has to fit into the fit model criteria.
Yeah, but everyone's going through the same exact.
Yep.
If you want to call it pain and suffering, I don't. I think it's a blessing. You know, I choose to do this, but everyone's going through the same thing.
Yep.
And everyone's in the same boat. But again, you're just walking on stage to show off a different shape and physique than
but
compared
you all
to someone.
worked just as hard to get there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yep. And just made the same sacrifices and everything else.
Yeah.
Yep. We could talk about the suits.
Let's talk about the suits.
Because the biggest thing is we're getting questions right now on the suits. You know what I mean? And I've just told everybody, like I said, I had just done a live IG last week, and I just said, you know, suits are going to, I think they are going to evolve. It happened in bikini. But I am telling the athletes now, please, for the first, you know, there's criteria. So please stick to the criteria.
Yeah.
The suit bottom needs to be a certain size. You know what I mean? And stuff. You can't have bling on it, that type of thing. So just till the division gets off the ground, follow the rules.
Yeah, especially because like, you are doing all this work in a prep, and then you're going to show up with the wrong suit.
Yeah, and if
you get kicked off.
Yeah, well,
like
Tyler and I've already talked about this.
no, yeah.
I will never take an athlete off the stage.
No, but it could knock you down points, kick you off.
But it could hurt your hands down, absolutely. And do you really, if you're again, you just stressed out, especially like say you travel to Japan, okay, and a judge comes backstage and says, you can't come back with that suit on.
You're like, what do I do?
Exactly.
What do I do?
Yes. So if, again, and bikini athletes will tell, almost every athlete will tell you, you always have 2 or 3 suits anyway. Because,
I do too.
Yeah, because mishaps, things connect, you know, strings break, everything happens. So you always want to have a second one. But if you are kind of like, I'm not sure if this is too small type thing, go with the bigger one, or at least have a different style with
for
you
sure.
backstage.
I mean, that's the great thing about Toxic Angels is like they're down the street from us, and like I can go in.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they have headquarters over in like Newport, Costa Mesa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I can like pop in, and then like if I need an adjustment, the suit and
That's
everything.
awesome.
Yeah, so I can like see what's gonna work, what isn't, and you know that's why you go ahead and order your suit early in time, so that way as you cut down, you can see like, oh, I need to like go down a size
and have them make the changes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, we have so many great with Toxic and OMG. We have so many great suit makers, just like coaches. They know what the judges want to see on stage, so they know what's going to be best for your physique. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately too, your suit does play a role in showing off your physique as well,
and it does.
Yeah,
the cut of the suit, you know what I mean, and stuff. Where the where the tie,
put the strings,
where they are on the sides, because again, you want to make your body look as symmetrical as you can, and you can play with that. Everything's an illusion. You can play with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it comes back to like posing. Like you can make an illusion that, you know, like I don't have a flared rib or something like that. So, I mean, all of it, your whole look down to, you know, the suit, the earrings, the conditioning, the presence, like all of it plays a role in how you show up on that stage.
Well, it plays a role, and the biggest thing is in your own self-confidence.
That too. The confidence is like the number one. It can be your like make or break.
I know something we should mention too, because I get it all the time and get it in all the divisions, and it's going to be in, you know, obviously in Fit Model also, is the style of the hair.
Yes.
What about tattoos? You know what I mean? And I tell athletes all the time, first of all, I don't care who you are, what division you're in, don't cover the tattoos, because you cannot cover them. I don't care.
Especially if you have a tan.
Yes, you can't cover them that we don't see them under those lights. We're going to, okay?
Yeah.
If it covers a whole, you know, a whole portion of your body, you're going to have to develop a little bit more muscle underneath to overcome that.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have to, because it will hide some of the density. Again, you maybe not need that much in Fit Model, but you might, you know, in some of the other divisions. The other thing is too, with women, our hair is so important to us. And so I get questions like, well, I have a shaved head, or I have, you know, I have pink streaks in my hair or blue streaks in my hair, whatever it is. And, you know, I'll get emails all the time that says, well, my coach said that I have to dye my hair blonde, or I have to dye my hair, all brown, because the judges aren't going to like that. Again, you're looking for minuscule things. Your coach is trying to tell you reasons that you didn't do as well, and I will tell you it's BS, okay? It really is.
Yeah.
For women, I think, again, this is Sandy's personal opinion, what gives you the most confidence? We have pros with shaved heads, okay? So it's how you carry yourself. Now, again, I've had this conversation with coaches and stuff, you can use hair for an illusion.
Yes.
Because if you're a little bit too big up top or a little bit too small up top, you can hide things, you know what I mean, and stuff. But you still, if you sacrifice self-confidence for that, I think it's going to hurt you more.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I actually used my short hair for my first 2 shows as an advantage to show off my shape in my back with my upper body to create like the hourglass shape in my posing.
Yeah, because we're looking for the same hourglass, just smaller in Fit Model that we are in bikini.
So I used it to my advantage, but this time around we're gonna grow out the hair a little bit to have a bit more of like a pageant, Fit Model look. We're gonna have like, the look play into the role. But yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, and the same thing, like I said, at your age, having colored streaks in your hair and stuff, I'm serious, probably looks adorable. You know what I mean? Like I said, at my age, probably not so adorable. So, but again, so what makes you feel the most confident?
Yeah.
I am telling you, no judge is going to say, oh, well, you got second place or third place because you had pink streaks in your hair.
I mean, that's a
stupid.
silly response to give for feedback,
I would go to a different judge for feedback on that one.
Like the real feedback I got was at the Olympia Amateur was like just a little bit more tightness and the stomach, and then for conditioning, and then just fix the posing. Like that's the real feedback. If you're telling me like I need to
now I have to go look at the photos from
I know. Bill just loved Texas. He just loved the look I had there, and basically we're gonna bring that back. So I mean, ultimately that's the goal, especially now with like more roundness in the glutes and everything like that. So what is the biggest thing you're excited to see develop in the Fit Model division, especially when we get to the Olympia?
I mean, the one thing that I like, and I've actually said this to Tyler a couple times, like I said, we've seen a little bit less muscle, a little bit more muscle, depending on the winners at the shows and stuff, because again, judges have to pick from what's up there.
Exactly.
But I think the one thing that I think really was consistent throughout the year was the conditioning.
Yeah.
And to me, I love that. I love, especially for somebody like you at at 22, that we're not pushing the conditioning. Yeah. Because again, it's not as healthy as you're conditioned for a day. Yeah. My thing was always about building muscle, because that's going to make women more healthier down the road. You know what I mean? So I really like that the conditioning
is showing up the same.
Has really stayed the same. Yes. So, for me, in Japan, I'm hoping somebody walks out and just says, I'm the winner.
I mean, that's the whole point.
I just know I am so stressed.
Yeah.
Because again, you got to pick from what's there.
Yep.
You don't want to go too big. You don't want to, you know what I mean?
I mean, this is the first one, is setting the first standard of the division.
I know. I wish I never would have volunteered for this one.
You're like regretting being a judge all your years.
I just said to somebody this morning, I would pay their flight and give them $1,000 if they'll trade places with me.
So
I mean, don't be wrong. In Japan, we actually,
of course,
again, but we have a great panel.
Great lineup
because
too.
Sally is from Japan, is probably one of the best judges I've ever judged with. Patrick Fulgrim from Muscle Contest is going to be there. Felix from Seoul. So we have a lot of the different countries represented, you know, and stuff. But yeah, it's just I'm anxious and I'm excited, but I'm also obviously nervous about what's going to show up.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is I'm just hoping that we can find a really good standard that is good across the board. You know what I mean? For all the young women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming up in 12 weeks. So that's all I got to say. But I mean, yeah, no, with going back on
obviously I wish you luck at your pro. I'll see you at the Pittsburgh.
Yes. I'll be there the week before, but no, going back to the conditioning, it's funny. I actually over condition myself. So we actually come in early a couple weeks and I'll over condition. So that way I can, you know, carb up
fill
more,
back up.
And especially because it's harder to chase the conditioning as you get closer to your show.
Oh, absolutely.
So much harder.
Exactly.
And that's
but you've only done 2 shows.
Exactly.
And you've already learned that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have the best of the best in the industry I'm learning from. So, I mean, that's a huge part of it too.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know that and I know how my body responds. I know it responds better with more food and, you know, definitely not having any stress. Like that's the best thing is like, you know, you're learning through the pain, but now I know everything to avoid and work on to show up the best I possibly can with the best package for New York Pro.
But also giving yourself the time though, seriously, to acclimate to the East Coast will be a big thing. And it'll help reduce your stress a lot. Because now you're not worried about, wonder if my flight's delayed or wonder if I miss my connection, you know, whatever the issue is, you know what I mean? Because that travel day can be so hard on some athletes.
Especially when you have to time your meals correctly, you have to get all your food to the hotel. Like when I got into Texas, like I had to DoorDash the fridge because when we got there, the fridge was literally like the size of a Rubik's Cube. I was
know what size.
I was like, there's no way I can get through the next like week with
So you actually ordered a refridge?
Oh yeah. Like it was like a sports like baseball collab fridge and like I left that there like there's no way I could bring it back.
Well,
no,
exactly. You're not going to take it through.
But I was like, I needed my food. I was not going to let my mega fit go to waste. You got to do what you got to do, and I won. So.
No, absolutely. And like I said, I'm sure there's when athletes are watching this, they're going to say, "Oh my God, I've done the same thing, and I've done this, and I've done that." But again, today there's so many more resources open to us, you know what I mean, as far as, like I said, with all the meal preps and the delivery services and all that just does help ease that stress level a whole lot more.
100%.
Yeah.
So
yes, and I just saw something too that I didn't know. WOLFpak have the ones that keep the food cold.
The meal prep management. Yes.
I was actually showing somebody who I was, your company, because I was coming, said I was coming down, and it was somebody that's not part of the industry. It's actually my accountant, and he just went, "Oh my," because I told him to go to your, the site, and he goes, "Oh my God, they can take their meal preps on the thing." I said, "Yep."
Do you know what's so funny is like, I'm like in the same 4 walls every day. So like, I don't see the impact we have as the like company fully, but it's funny when I started my first prep, when I actually started using like our lunch boxes as meal preps and stuff, I was like, dang, we actually make a really great product. It wasn't until I went through like the struggles, I was like, oh my God, like we actually like got it with this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was so funny because the one that when you open up the website right now, is it the pink and camel stuff or whatever?
Real Tree, yes.
And so obviously one of the packs were open with the the meal preps in it. And that's the first thing, like I said, it's my accountant. He looked at him and goes, "Oh my God," because he's heard about the sport because of me for years. And he goes, "They can take their meal preps with them." I said, "I didn't know they made that."
That was the biggest game changer for us, especially coming up in the industry, was once we came out the meal prep management, every competitor was learning that we had these. And like,
that to me's got to be.
Oh my goodness. Like when I would still do my modeling, and when I was transitioning into this, like I brought it with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could take your meals with you even back then you needed it.
Yeah, I take it with being a set. I take it with being a traveling, like, It's so funny. My boyfriend's friends, they made fun of me because I brought my own meat with me, like to go, see them in Vegas. Like, and I was like, nah, like I don't play around with this stuff. Like, I'm bringing my food with me. It's coming with me. It's gonna be mega fit. Like, I don't play around. Like,
no, but again, sometimes athletes will say to me that they have a hard time with family members or with friends.
Yes.
That they have, and it's so disappointing and sad to hear that, because if people are seriously, because I come from a big family, and so if you have your family members especially, but even your friends, and why would you hang around with people that don't support you, whatever that issue, whatever it is?
Exactly. I mean, that's probably my biggest advice I can give to someone just starting out in, this whole industry is like, have a good support system, have a good circle around you. Like, I am so blessed. I've had people who've been with me since the beginning of this journey last year, in June, and they've just understood and respected the process, the amount of work I'm putting into it. And it's great too, because, like, again, my dad did a prep and he's been around the gym fitness culture for years, and like, he understands, what it takes to, especially now when I'm at a pro debut level, just what it takes in general, like, mental, physical, emotional, the toll it has. And like, I've been truly blessed with the circle I have around me, the support, the love, even from strangers, especially being at the NPC Women's Workshop. The amount of girls that had come up to me and DM me after, asking questions, saying how my feedback was amazing and how I could help them out. Like, and I told them, like, reach out to me whenever. Like, I went through the same exact pain points, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. And, if you have any questions, concerns, like, let me know. Like, let me help make your life easier.
That's what's nice with where we are today's day and age, because obviously, like I said, I'm
a lot different back then.
Yeah, well, because with social media, you can meet, and like, even one time, this is obviously a few years ago, Jessica Wilson came. I forget where we were. We did a seminar together, and she said to me, there was at the time she wasn't placing as high as obviously when she does now and stuff. But she just said to me, she said, I don't really know that I belong here. I don't think, there's a lot of the athletes that don't even know who I am and stuff. And we walked out of the seminar together, and these two young girls who were probably just like 19, 20, 21 came up to her and, oh my God, I follow you on Instagram. I'm in veterinarian school, because she's a vet. But that's what I'm saying. Most of our pros, a lot of you don't even realize how much of an impact you have on people, because they watch you on social media, they follow you for whatever reason. Something resonates with your life story, resonates with them, and they're you're their you're their idol that they look up to, and it can be a big responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, I was telling someone very close to me the same exact thing. Like, coming back from the NPC Women's Workshop, I didn't realize the full amount of eyes I had on me, especially within these like last few weeks and months, and people reaching out at a high level, and they're like, you're up and coming, like, you're right there, we're excited to see like your pro debut. Like, I didn't realize the full weight and responsibility I had, and the amount of eyes I had watching me, and like, now it's like giving me even more of a drive and passion to really like show up with the best possible package.
And it's really funny, because I always tell people, I'm the person that you want working for your company. I'm not an ideas person. I'm not an ideas person. I'm not a business person. But the workshop, how it came about is, because everybody knows I'm at the end of my career and stuff, and they would be like, oh, there's no other women to take your place, and what, who's going to take your place? And I'd be like, oh my God, we have amazing women all over this world. At the time I was thinking of Bernadette and Becky and Mo and Sally, because they're all head judges, and especially Becky travels everywhere and stuff. And so I actually said, I want people to know who they all are, not just in their geographical area. Like, the East Coast knows who Mo is. Texas and stuff knows who Bernadette is. But so when I called Jim and I said, I want to do something that, no, I'm not, I swear to God, I'm not gonna, but I wanted to do something that these women's faces would get out there. And it has grown into that, like you said, even for yourself, coming to the first time. You know what I mean? Because even as much as social media is out there, people still don't see it all. You know what I mean? Because you know how you can post.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, because like I post like something about the junior nationals, and like even at the women's workshop, somebody came up to me and went, "You have pro bikini at the women's nationals?" And I mean at junior national, I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
We've been doing it for because you think that information is all out there, but it's still, people still don't see it. You know what I mean?
No,
And stuff.
people don't see the whole journey, the
No.
ins and outs, the low days. They only see the highlight reels that you want to personally have out there. And, you know, I think that's the beautiful part about like being a pro is like, I'm going to be able to show, you know, the highs and lows, the ins and outs, and like kind of like help be the blueprint of, you know, what it takes to become a pro in the Fit Model division.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, even I can remember when Angelica won the won the Olympia, and everybody, there's comments on social media about like, where did she come from? And it just happened overnight. And she's like, I was 16th last year at the Olympia. Because people don't see you coming up. They just see you when you win.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh, you're like, you know, you just got your pro card and you won the Olympia. You know what I mean?
No one sees you winning in the like prep weeks.
No.
It's solely you. And it's so funny. I was telling Mark and Jen and a couple people, like, as much as I feel the love and support around me, like I still can't help but feel lonely and isolated at the same time, because that is part of the sport.
Oh, it is.
It's just a part of it. You have to learn it, accept it, grieve it, whatever you need to do. But it's just a part of a sport, especially if you want to be the best of the best.
It's still an individual sport.
Yep.
You want to, don't get me wrong, you want a good team around you. You want good sport, because nobody gets to the top by themselves.
No.
But going to that gym every day and
you're doing the work.
Yes, it's you by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to have the discipline and the passion to want to get up. And that's one of the things I thought helped women, again, not so much your age, because you're too young now, but when social media first came around, and you know, the women would be like, because again, they were mothers, or they'd get up I had women that would get up at 3 a.m. to do cardio and stuff, and get their meals prepped for the day, because they had to get the kids to school and then get to work themselves, you know what I mean, and stuff. And some mornings that when that alarm goes off at 3, you're like, oh. But again, somebody else from the East Coast or the West Coast is texting going, okay, I'm on Stairmaster, are you doing, you know what I mean? And that connection and that, you know, knowing that you are part of a group can help so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Because those people like can understand what you're going through. That's the great thing about having my 2 coaches is like, they know exactly like what I'm feeling at like this certain timeout. Like they're like, hey, you're going to feel.
Especially Jen.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially
really,
Jen.
Because she's already been on that Olympia stage and won.
Yep. A couple times. And, you know, it's funny, like we relate to each other all the time. We're literally like sisters at this point. Like she can look at me across the room and know exactly what I'm thinking in my head at that time. And it's like the biggest blessing I could have on this journey is like they completely understand. But no, it is a very lonely and isolating sport at the same time. But I think the biggest thing is, like we said earlier, is having a great support system around you, people you can go to, and you know, it's just a huge part.
And one of the other thing you asked me about advice, sometimes I tell athletes, again, take advantage of the seminars and stuff. The people that you're asking questions from, make sure that they're the right people.
Exactly.
Like the national judges, the Olympia judges, you know what I mean, and stuff. Because I get stuff all the way. Oh, I was told that Sandy doesn't like this, or and I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
You're like, did you hear that come out of my mouth?
I'm like, no, I don't have a problem with that at all. And my email is out there.
Of course.
So I always tell people, if you have a question, get it from the right person.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the Texas area, let Bernadette. She'll give you the right answer. She'll tell you.
Go to the source.
Yes.
I was glad I was able to have a chance to pose in front of you at the NPC Women's Workshop. Like I got the exact advice I needed, and I was like, okay, set, perfect. Like you're on the Olympia panel.
No, absolutely. But because sometimes I think it's that telephone thing, you know, this person tells this person, and by the time it gets to the end, you're like, you don't even recognize what it started, you know what I mean, and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do find people sometimes chasing something that you don't need to chase. It was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're wasting energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially when, you know, like going back to the whole, like not having a good coach or anything like that. Now you're wasting time, energy, and money. And it's unfortunate.
Especially money.
Yes. It's unfortunate. So you want to make sure you are talking to the right people. You are communicating honestly, effectively, and, you know, all of it plays a role in your success and how far you want to go in your certain division.
And there's so much resources, good resources out there. So for young girls, you know, or young athletes, whoever it is, starting out in the sport.
Exactly. And that's ultimately my biggest goal, is to build these young women up and show them the exact ins and outs. If they have any questions, concerns, like, please reach out to me. Like, I want to be able to help build up this division, you know, and get a new audience, a new generation, because ultimately we're the future of the sport.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, hands down, absolutely. Even like when we do like, you know, I see when I go to like the nationals and stuff, and I'll see the 22-year-old figure competitor, and I'm like, oh my God. I always say to Tyler, I love to see the young athletes, whether it's bikini, figure, women's, doesn't matter. That's the future of your sport.
Especially if I wanted, you know, to go up in bikini eventually down the line. Like, eventually it's going to lead in that. Like, so you start now. Like, right now is the representation. Like,
and it allows you to grow. You can still be a Fit Model Pro and hit the Olympia stage and then transition to bikini because now you've put on a little bit more muscle and your body's responding. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the beautiful part about having all these different divisions is like you go to like what works for you. Right now, the new division Fit Model works for me and my physique and I love it. So what is your, let's see, how do you feel about all the bikini girls hopping down to Fit Model right now? What is your biggest take on that? Because I've heard a lot of different things.
I did too. And I actually listened to something that Ashley said, and she was a good one to say it because she gets a lot of like, you know, like because you compete in all the thing and you're taking the first place away from people and stuff.
I'm so impressed by her. Side note, so impressed.
Absolutely. But first of all, she couldn't have said it better. If you're an athlete, you don't care who shows up on stage.
Exactly.
If you don't want her to win, then frickin' beat her. That's the way that happens. Okay. And I think it's the same thing. I think, and again, I've never trained athletes. Obviously, the amount of science was never around when I first started. But I think people think because they're Olympian bikini athletes, at least the ones that I've heard that are coming down and stuff, that it's going to be just easy for them. And I think both sides are going to have your challenges.
You're going to have your pros and cons for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Trying to get that density off and doing it very symmetrically and having the skin tone look as good is going to be a challenge that they're going to have to do. I'm not saying that they won't. I have no idea. But I think a lot of the younger Fit Model think like, oh, they're just going to come in and take our places and stuff. And it's not, because it's a different look. They're going to have to fit into your look. You're not fitting into their look. They have to fit into your look.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, all that matters is what you bring to the stage that day. Whether you peaked correctly, you did your conditioning, you followed all the steps. Like, it doesn't matter who, what, when, where. What matters is what package you brought to that stage and make sure you hit the criteria of your division.
And I'm sure Jen will tell you, and every other Olympia athlete on stage will tell you, you can do the best, and sometimes
I've heard that.
Yep, absolutely. I've heard that. And the other time is though when you know you've nailed it. That feeling is translated so good on stage too. You know what I mean, and stuff.
And ultimately, again, it's up to the judges. Like, there's only two people you should be listening to: is your coach and the judges. And cut out all the other noise around you.
Oh yeah, don't. I will tell you, Sid Gillen a long time ago told me, I want to say either 3 or 4 weeks before the Olympia, and I think this is the best advice for every athlete out there, men and women. Okay. Get off of social media.
Yes.
Because I don't care, especially for women, but it happens to men too. It gets into our head. It's just human nature. Don't let the comments get it. So if you're not looking at it, it can't get in your head. Like somebody contacted me a couple years ago and said, so-and-so, said you cost them the Olympia and stuff. And they said, doesn't that bother you? And I'm like, no, I do the best I can. And I didn't really see that, so I don't care. You know what I mean? And that's the same as an athlete. Get off of social media when it's closer to your show. This happened a long time ago and hopefully Jeremy doesn't get upset with me, but when Jeremy Bundy was winning, somebody showed me, because that's when the Olympia was always in September, and somebody showed me a picture in August and said, look at what he looks like. Don't you think he's too big for men's physique? And I went, if he shows up at the Olympia, he's too big for men's physique. He showed up at the Olympia 3 pounds heavier than he was the year before. He just did it as a pump thing. It was, the way he took it with the lighting and stuff to get in everybody else's head.
Of course.
So if you don't go and look at it, you can't, can't get into your head.
Yeah, especially too, because like when I take pictures and stuff right now, where I'm at, I look much bigger than I do in person. And it's funny how, distorted
But
the media can be.
But most of the time, and that's why I tell
most
people,
of the case.
Yes, almost all the photos online make people look bigger and harder than they are when you see them in person.
Yeah. No, but that's the biggest thing. And that's what I did too in both my preps, especially the first time I competed. That was such a huge learning curve, is like the social media aspect. And like, I knew I did not want to see any other girl who was going. I didn't want to see their physique.
Because
I did not want to compare.
Get in your head.
Yeah, because I would let it get to my head, and I knew right then and there.
I mean, you're human. That's
well, of course, as someone who's very competitive as well, like
yes,
I'm gonna like see who's doing what they're looking like, making sure I'm showing up correctly. But you can't do that in this sport. You can't compare. It's a self-discovery journey for yourself. It's an individual sport. So you have to, just beat your last package pretty much. And that's all you can do.
Yeah. And if you did, you won.
Yep.
Because you, like I said, you have no control of anything else on stage. So if you know you were better and you didn't cheat and you did everything in your power to improve, that's all you can, that's all you can ask for. But yeah, that's my biggest thing, is to
social
tell
media.
Athletes when it's, especially when it's coming to a big show, you know what I mean? Like your pro debut or the Olympia or your nationals, because you're looking for your pro card or whatever. Stay off of social media, because I don't care. It will get in your head, especially where you are in the diet and the food prep and stuff. You know what I mean? It's
because that starts messing with your head.
Yes,
you're depleted.
It's a lot easier at that point.
Oh my goodness, me trying to get work done when I was like super depleted. Like looking back now, I don't know how I managed to, pull together the whole Olympia booth we had. Like I have no idea how I did it, but like I somehow managed to like get through prep with it.
Oh yes, because that's right. You were prepping and you were you obviously you were going to have your booth at the Olympia the same week.
It was, and I think that's the cool part with me on this journey, is like I'm showing like the duality of a woman, businesswoman, showing up as a competitor, being in a relationship, friendships, and being a sister. Like I am doing it all across the board, and I'm still showing up with my best possible package I can, and the balance is possible.
Yep.
Yes. Do you have to sacrifice a little bit? Do you have to make different decisions? Of course, that is naturally going to come, especially when you're trying to chase after something. Like you have to, figure out what's important to you, what you want to make time for, but ultimately the balance is possible. You can achieve that, and I'm currently doing it, and I hope I'm showing that to people. Like both worlds are possible.
Yes, no, absolutely. And like I said, I have so many women that find that balance. They don't. I'm a big one. Don't leave your career. Don't, you know what I mean? And stuff.
You do what works for you.
Yes, exact. Hands down, absolutely. And the balance is there without sacrificing being a mother or, being an employee, whatever the issue is, or like you said, being a businesswoman. You know what I mean? You can do it. You can do it all. You just have to sometimes make different choices.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's just how you structure your day and how you prep yourself the night before. Like, I'm a huge fan of doing that. Like, I'm going to, put out my clothes, do my meal prep, supplements. Like, I'm going to put all that stuff to the side the night before, so I'm able to wake up and have a successful day. And like time management's a huge thing. And I've always had like a gift for time management too, especially because it brings me back to like my dance days and modeling days. Like I always had to have it then.
Maybe next year at the women's workshop, that's what you can do. You can do a breakout session on time management.
Yeah,
I think that seriously,
no,
you should actually do a podcast on that. No, but I'm being serious. That would probably benefit so many, athletes, both men and women.
Especially here too, and like working and stuff. Like I have set timers, like when I need to consume my meal, and then I'm going to just schedule and structure everything else around my day. Like when I have interviews, or sit down and do this podcast. Especially too, like when I need to weight train and stuff. Like everyone knows, like I'm out here 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm ready to go. Like, do not bug me. Do not.
You know who you sound like?
Yeah.
Sid Gillen.
You know what's so funny? I think we had a very similar upbringing because her dance, and then she couldn't do it anymore.
And her parents were both in the the world. Yeah. And she's one of the most focused young women that I've ever met. And I would say to somebody, like I'd say, because obviously everybody knows Damien trained her, and I'd say to Damien, how's it going? Because he'd have more than, 1 or 2 Olympians, at like a couple weeks before the Olympia in Arizona. And he'd say, as long as they know what sit schedule is at the gym, we're all doing well.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everyone knows, like, not to come out here and bug me when I'm training, like, especially in the mornings, like, I'm doing cardio. Like, I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Like, I do not want to be disturbed. I want to be, like, fully locked in. Like, I need it to sound like a freaking club up in my head so I can get through my, like, 70 minutes of cardio, you know, on the Stairmaster. Like,
But I think if you do talk to the athletes that actually, like the Jays and the Phils, and you have to have that kind of focus.
Yes.
But it still can be balanced in your life.
Yes. There's still a balance. And,
yes.
you know, like, even when I was in my prep, like, I'm still going out. I'm still going to the beach. I have a picture of me with my meal prep at the beach. Like, you know, like, I'm still getting it done.
Yes.
I'm still enjoying life. And again, it depends on the level you are at. Like, I completely understand if you're, like, competing for Mr. O. The big boys, they have a completely different set schedule, you know.
But it's the same thing if you're an NFL player. You know, you have your off season, your on season. So your family and your, you know, whoever the know that this section is this is me getting ready for my, you know, my biggest part of my career, and then I have the next 4 or 5 months that. You know, we can do whatever, you know, we need to do.
I mean, that's the beautiful part too, is like, so like me and my boyfriend personally right now, like we are both in a season of sacrifice, and we both have to lock in to, you know, our careers, and it works because we're at the same place at the same time. And it's funny because he's not even in this industry. He goes to the gym. He's very fit. He's very disciplined with what he does, but we're not in the same, he's not in the bodybuilding industry. But it's so cool because he understands and respects the process and what it takes for me to show up the way I do on stage. So, and again, it goes back to like having a great circle around you and having people who understand the process and respect it, you know, trying not to influence or break you away from that, you know, because that happens a lot, unfortunately.
In the relation, especially with the women in the, and I shouldn't say that, and the men too, that
it's everyone.
They especially if they're already in a relationship and then they get in the sport, the other
person doesn't.
Yes. They don't understand it all, because again, it does take away from your life, and it does take some, you know, financially take away. But again, ultimately, to me, again, Sandy's own personal. If you're with somebody though that really truly cares for you and loves you, they are gonna support you.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, 100%. And that's all he's ever shown me since. Because it's funny, he met me right when I started my first prep.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, we've only been together a short time, but again, like the amount of respect and admiration and support and encouragement he's shown me throughout this whole period, it's like I'm so blessed and grateful. You're not even in the industry, and you can understand and respect what I'm going through. And, you know, again, you're not pulling me away from it.
Respect and understand what he's going through.
Exactly. That's the beautiful blessing, is like, it's reciprocated for sure. Yep. That's the biggest blessing I could say in this too. But yeah, no, I've heard crazy horror stories, unfortunately.